Welcome to today's moment, where we take the of ease and joy and bring you to the aha of the fun of manifesting your heart's desires. And today we're going to manifest it unfolding. We've manifested it fast, and we've manifested it fun, and we've manifested it real. Now we're going to manifest it unfolding, because that's all that's ever happening. The now moment is just one big unfolding, going on and on and on and on, more unfolding and more unfolding and more unfolding. And when you realize that the job of the conscious mind is just to request, just to choose, just to ask, right? Because every asking is a choice. In this now moment, this is what you're choosing. And when you then turn that over to the subconscious must say yes. It cannot say no. And it dives into its big toy box of unfolding. And it always wants to bring it to you in the quickest, most amazing, mind-blowing way. But think of all of your thoughts of how it should arrive as conditions, that it's sort of, you're giving your mind its own little Tough Mudder race to jump over hurdles and climb walls and run through fire just to get you your unfolding of your manifestation. So when you, in this now moment, ask or command or choose whatever word you want to use, and then you realize the subconscious mind will populate the reality just like it creates a dream. It will populate the reality with all the people and experiences and things that you need for the unfolding as quick as possible, as enjoyable as possible. And all you need to do is the undoing, not have any thoughts about how or when, but just know that every single moment now going forward is the unfolding. So if that means that you decide to go run or go to the gym, that's part of the unfolding. If you decide you have to go into work, that's part of the unfolding. Because the mind will always use what you naturally have in your template to bring it to be. And I'm going to share you an unfolding story for me. So when I started dating again, I created some rules for myself, because after being in a long relationship for 23 years, I had the dating mentality of a 17-year-old girl, because that was the last time I had dated. So I thought, okay, here are some of my guidelines for myself, because there are no guidelines in dating or rules in dating, but it's what I decided it was going to be. And that's the same thing with manifestation. There are no rules of manifestation. It's what you decided to be, but this is conditions. So at the time I was working at a gym, and I didn't want to date anyone at the gym because, in addition to my workplace, it's also was my church. That's where I went and prayed to the muscle gods as I did my workout. And I didn't want that, this was my sanctuary. I did not want that ruffled, especially if something didn't work out. This is my mind. So condition. And then I'm like, okay, well, age-wise, plus or minus 3 years in either direction of where I'm at, because that means at least we would have been in high school at the same time. When I was a freshman, they could have been a senior. If I was a senior, they could have been a freshman. So I felt like we'd have stuff in common. And for a while, they were my parameters. And no one in the area, because I have children, and this is something that I wanted to ease myself into, and I didn't need people talking about me or around me. So I ended up meeting people a good hour away, not at the gym, but it was exhausting. It was absolutely exhausting. And I would look around the gym that I worked at, and I would joke that it was the ugliest gym that, guy-wise, at the time, because I, grew up in Philly and used to South Jersey and just lots of good-looking guys. Shout out to Philly. But I realize now that because that's what I thought about my gym, and I thought it that way to keep myself safe, to keep myself not, and no one ever hit on me. The running joke I had that I would have in conversations was they were afraid of me because I was so muscular. And of course, if you're a very muscular woman, you're very strong-willed. You know who you are. You're not going to tolerate any nonsense. So this is all the conditioning. And when I finally decided that I was done with the dating, that I really did want to meet somebody, I decided to take 3 months off to kind of clear the palette, to zero myself out, my new 0 point, right? Not that the people weren't wonderful, because I specifically said to myself, I don't want relationships. So I kind of met the fun guys that were not relationship kind of guys. And that's exactly what I wanted. But now I was like, you know what? Got that out of my system. Now it's time to really say, you know what does my heart want? And I remember being in the gym and this little voice in my head. Now, I know the voice in my head that I believe are my echoes of my thoughts. And I know the voice in my head that is from my inner me, my higher self. And all I heard her say to me was, these guidelines, how's that working for you? No one in the gym. Can you open up to someone in the gym? Because honestly, if I wasn't with my kids, I was working in the gym 6 days a week, to the point where if people saw me outside the gym, they would joke with me like they let you out, they let you escape, because that's all they knew me as. And it didn't matter if they came in the morning or the afternoon or evening, I was there and I was working. So I thought to myself, okay, during this 3-month break, I'm going to let go of, it can be at the gym. And then the little voice in my head said, well, what about that age thing? Why don't we throw that out too? Because I realized, at least the guys that I was dating my age seemed a lot older in they kind of reminded me more of like my dad's generation than mine. So I'm like, all right, okay, I'm open to all this. I'm gonna be open to see what my mind would bring me, to see what the reality would bring me as this beautiful, powerful manifester that I am, because I could always, in the point of offering in my own discernment, say yes or no. I don't have to take every offer, nor do you with manifesting, that's given to you when it's given to you. You still use your discernment if it's good fit. Because if not, your subconscious mind will go and find something else and that will unfold. So how it unfolded was really, really powerful. Because one day, one of my coworkers, who was also a trainer, a lot younger, most of the other trainers there were a lot younger than me. She comes over because she was just head over heels over the guy she was dating. And she was going on and gushing, and I'm listening because I just love to hear that stuff. And she turns to me and she said, well, who's your gym crush? And well, I did have one, but yet I was very reluctant to say who. And she finally got it out of me, and I told her who it was. And she approved, and she just thought that was awesome. But little did I know that she knew him. I really, other than saying, hi, how are you? Just general conversation that I would have with gym members and so forth, being cordial. She knew him, and she took it upon herself to go over and tell him that I had a crush on him. And what unfolded after that was really amazing, because he started to come over and talk to me. And then if by chance one time he would be there and he didn't talk to me, I'd be like, I wonder what's up. I wonder why he didn't talk to me. And she would go over and tell him this, and he'd come over and say, I'm here to talk to you now. And it was like, how is this happening? Because I didn't realize this was unfolding. And then another friend that worked at the gym saw the chemistry between us and decided to have a night out and invited just me, her, and him. And then 10 minutes in, she had an emergency and she abandoned us. And it was like, what's going on here? Until we realized. So once you open up, once you decide, once you ask and say, I'm ready for this now. I'm really ready for this. The unfolding, how it happens, and you don't have to do anything, blows your mind. And I'm happy to say that 12 years later, we're still together. Because I had all these restrictions and guidelines and I let them go. Because the unfolding, it'll happen wherever you are with what's in your world already. You're already primed. It's already ready to pop for you. It's just a matter of letting go of any rules or guidelines or conditions, because if you have them, there's nothing wrong with having them. But if what's been showing up is what's been showing up, then it's time to rework those guidelines. It's time to say, you know what? I'm going to release all of that and let me see what's brought to me. Now, looking back in hindsight, it was only a few short weeks from having that conversation in my head with that little voice, that inner me saying, how's that all working for you? Could you be open to something different? Only a few short weeks for it to unfold. Because that was the activation. Then I had to kind of align with being open with it. And when I was, it wowed me and surprised me in a way that I never saw coming as the character in my story. But I'm so glad it did. So, my friends, I want you to manifest it unfolding. Know that you've asked. And if you haven't asked, ask. And then let go of any way that you think it should come. Open up different areas of your life that it could come. And then watch how magical your subconscious mind, your inner me, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, is. Because it's here to serve you. And every now moment is here to serve you in the unfolding of what you've asked for. And that's really amazing. And don't worry if you miss it. It'll come around again. It'll come around again. It'll come around again. If you're really loving these moments, come back again tomorrow at 12 noon for the next edition. Make sure that you have liked and subscribed and share these stories, share these moments. Comment, let me know how these are resonating with you. And if by chance you missed any of the previous moments, if you look on your screen right now, just for you, because all of this is just for you, there's a wonderful playlist just waiting for you to binge watch. Enjoy. Welcome to